And then we got this last one. All right, let's do this. Starting at 3, 2, 1. The Buccaneers took on the New Orleans Saints at home yesterday and lost 34-23. I'm not surprised. It takes time to build a team. The Buccaneers are so overhyped right now. It's insane. Did you see the amount of people that thought okay, it's only been 1 week, so you can't assume things already. But the amount of people that say that the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South is absurd. It is so crazy. We see this with so many teams. Yeah, they have a great offense. In fact, they have an amazing offense. Mike Evans is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Chris Godwin is great. He had an amazing season last year. OJ Howard, most underrated tight end in the league. OJ Howard is insane. Actually, Mark Andrews is still underrated. Mark Andrews is probably top 3 tight end in the league, and nobody talks about him at all. Mark Andrews is absurd. He's amazing. But aside from that, OJ Howard is probably the most underrated because he's a tight end nobody really talks about. So he's great. And then aside from that, they have Gronk. Now, we didn't see, did Gronk even play yesterday? I didn't see anything from Gronk yesterday. So they have Gronk, and of course, Gronk hasn't played a whole season, so you can't know how great he's going to be, but their running back group is amazing. Ronald Jones played so well. LaShawn McCoy looked great. Outside from that, they have Leonard Fournette. They have Leonard Fournette as their 3rd string running back. That's absurd. They have the best running back in the NFL by far. It's not even close. Aside from their offense being great and their offensive line still needing some help, ooh, that special teams. That special teams was so bad yesterday. Tom Brady had to start on his own, 20 or less the entire game. That special teams was so bad. Now, given the Saints have one of the best special teams in the league, so the Saints just obliterated them on special teams, and that put Tom Brady at a huge disadvantage. Did you see how mad Tom Brady was? Or not even mad, just how disappointed he was. Nobody in the NFL, or nobody in sports I have ever seen hates losing more than Tom Brady. Just a regular season game. You could be an 8-8 team not even competing for the playoffs if Tom Brady was. He would still get really mad over a loss. Nobody hates losing more than Tom Brady. I can just see how he was reacting in that locker room after that game. Although he can't get mad at any of his weapons. Of course, in New England, he didn't really have great weapons. Now, they still had Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman is pretty good at wide receiver. He's still great, but outside of that, N'Keal Harry looked really bad. No tight ends. The running back group didn't even look good. So their team did not look good last year. So this year, it's the defense. Patriots defense and special teams last year was amazing for Tom Brady. And now he's working with a terrible defense and an awful special teams. Now their defense has some players. Vita Vea is a pretty good nose tackle. Their linebacker group is amazing. Devin White and Shaquille Barrett are great linebackers. And then outside of that, who do they have? They do have Antoine Winfield Jr. So I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Antoine Winfield was my favorite corner I've seen on the Vikings team forever. I wish we had Antoine Winfield right now, but his son, Antoine Winfield Jr., is the strong safety for the Buccaneers now. He's starting too. So I was watching that guy and I was cheering for Antoine Winfield Jr., even though I was cheering for the Saints at the end of the day. Saints are amazing. Saints look so complete. Their offense looks great. Now, of course, they have the great offensive trio, but with Drew Brees, who still looks great, Michael Thomas, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. I don't even know why it's arguably. He can run any route you want. Yeah, he only runs slant routes on just about every play, but that's because it works. Why change something that doesn't work? Or wait, I messed up the saying. Why fix something that is not broken? I think that's how it said. Whatever. And then, of course, Alvin Kamara, who looked really good yesterday. Now, the Buccaneers defense was just giving everything to them, so everybody looked good yesterday, and then Taysom Hill looked great as well. So the Saints offense still looks scary. No surprise, still looks great. Offensive line looks better. Their offensive line looked great yesterday. So Saints look like a huge threat, and then their defense is as good as their defense is. I mean, they can do almost anything you want, except they don't have a great linebackers. No, they have great linebackers that can get to the passer. They don't have interior safety linebackers really, so they could use some help there, but outside of that, the Saints looked great. Safeties also, they could use help. So the Saints look like the best team in the NFC as of this week. The Saints played better than any other team in the entire NFC this week and are probably the best team in the NFC and could be going to a Super Bowl, which is why the Buccaneers are probably not going to compete for a Super Bowl. This is something I've been saying. The Buccaneers will probably make a playoff. Their offense is too good to not make a playoff. And their coaching staff is great. Their offense is too good to not make the playoffs. But given they're in a division with the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons, who both are pretty good teams. I mean, the New Orleans Saints are, as of this week, the best team in the NFC, and the Atlanta Falcons have great pieces on their team, although the Atlanta Falcons are not going to be competing in the NFC South because they are in this division. This is going to hold the Buccaneers back because there's only two teams, only two wildcard teams that can make the playoffs. Both have to go on the road. Buccaneers are going to probably be having to go on the road in the playoffs. Do you think that they can come out of that? Do you think they can go on the road against some of these NFC teams and make a Super Bowl? I don't know why people have them in their Super Bowl prediction. Now, their offense is great, so you have to look at that. But you have to look at the team as a whole. When I think of a Super Bowl team, I think of a complete team. Great coaching staff, great quarterback. They have both of those things right there. Great offensive playmakers. They have that as well. Can get to the passer, can use some, can help the team on special teams. They don't have that. So they don't look like a Super Bowl team. You look at the two teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, 49ers, complete team, front, back, center, everywhere. 49ers were a complete team. Chiefs, almost a complete team. I mean, their defense could have used a little bit of help, but outside of that, they looked great. Great team, front and back. Both teams that made the Super Bowl last year did look like a great team. I kind of started there. But anyways, Buccaneers don't look like a Super Bowl team at all, so I don't think they will competing for a Super Bowl or even competing in the NFC South because of how the New Orleans Saints looked yesterday and are probably the strongest team in the NFC right now. Again, that's every year, and they end up losing to my Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. But outside of that, New Orleans Saints are a great team in the NFC. They looked amazing yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're the number one seed alongside the Cardinals, baby. Cardinals looked amazing yesterday also. Cardinals looked great. I don't know who's going to be that 2 seed, but I think Saints, the way they looked yesterday, if they can continue to look like that throughout the season, they are going to be the number one seed, and Buccaneers are going to have to go on the road in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. They have to make the playoffs first. Tom Brady hates losing. Ooh, if you saw that guy's face yesterday, nobody hates losing more than Tom Brady. Let me know what y'all think about this.